Hey guys, how's it going? I really wanted to make an in-depth video about the energy that is going on tonight. As you know, there is a full moon in Aquarius and it's also a blood moon and an eclipse. That's pretty awesome. So I want to go over really in depth what that means for you. So first of all, this energy right now is really about integrating, making progress, accepting, and surrendering. A lot of things are coming up to the surface, especially hidden fears, but do not allow those fears to hold you back and keep you from making progress. Because remember, when we encounter things that make us feel uncomfortable, we can either choose to back away, run, and hide from it, or we can choose to go full force onto it so we can process it and let go and ultimately move on from it. So a quote that I've been seeing a lot is keep moving forward, and so I want to ask you guys this. Are you allowing yourself to move forward, to step into your power, to take action that is in alignment, or are you allowing your smaller self / ego to hold you back, to keep you afraid of your power, to keep you afraid of your potential, and to ultimately get in the way? Now on to the next thing. A lot of people have been reporting feeling disconnected and detached during this time, but that is actually a type of coping mechanism that can come up when we know we are holding on to things that are not actually in alignment with us anymore. For example, let's say you have a job or a relationship or a certain situation in life that you know isn't serving you anymore. You know you're destined for better, you know you're destined for more, for leveling up, for making progress, but you keep holding on to that. You don't want to let go of it, you're afraid, all these other things. Then that can cause us to have this detached feeling because our reality is no longer in alignment, in vibrational alignment with who we are and who we're choosing to become. A lot of things might be great in the beginning, a lot of things might actually line up with us and be aligned with us for a time, but let's say, for example, we'll use the example of having a job. Let's say you're in a job and it offers you the ability to move up and have a higher position. Are you going to move up, or are you going to stay with that level that might not actually reflect what you need to receive at this time? Also, this is an important time for forgiveness and letting go, both forgiving yourself and forgiving people in your reality. And once you forgive and let go of those things that have been weighing heavy on your heart, I like to replace that energy with something that I do want to be there instead, such as love, kindness, compassion. Just really imagine recharging yourself, letting the old out and letting the new in, and surrendering to the new, making space for the new, holding space for it, and allowing it to fully work through you so it can integrate. This is also an excellent time to kind of count your blessings and really be grateful, because as you know, an attitude of gratitude is the key to receiving more things to be grateful for. It just really helps you start this momentum of, wow, I'm so grateful for this and this and this, and you just start aligning with more greatness. And one of the most important things is to stay true to yourself in this society. It can be tempting to keep up a facade for the sake of people pleasing, but we are coming into a time, this is the age of authenticity, where we can no longer do that. It will make us feel really bad, really detached, really stressed, really depressed if we continue to do that, and also if we continue to stuff things down instead of dealing with them. It's really been fascinating to watch, because I've been seeing on a large scale how people are no longer able to repress things as they once were before. Maybe in the past, repressing things was a coping mechanism that worked for you, but at this time the energy is forcing things to come up and purging things. It's just the veil is lifting. We can't hide anymore. We have to be authentic and true to ourselves. We have to face and process these things, otherwise they'll be looming over us, they'll be within us, they'll be wreaking havoc, whether that's on our mind, in our lives, or on our physical health. So it's really important to just let it come up so you can process it. Otherwise it might start to seep into other areas of your life, other relationships, and how you perceive yourself and your reality. One final thing, this is something that I've been experiencing a lot these past few days. Aside from as you go within and experience and feel and heal those things that are purging, you will feel so much lighter, you will feel so much acceleration, you will feel so inspired to take aligned action in your life. And also, it's really about understanding that when you insist, you resist. When you are insisting for things to happen a certain way, a certain time, that's trying to make manifestation happen on your ego's time, not actually on your own soul's time. Your soul knows how it's supposed to go. And an image that my beings give to me is, imagine you have a hose. If you turn that hose, like when you get a kink in your hose, that's kind of what insistence is doing. When you get that kink in your hose, the water cannot move through. That's what happens when we insist. We're just really crushing down this flow energy. Remember, again, the universe does not force, it flows, and so does your soul. yes, there is no need for force. Sink into your alignment, sink into your flow. But ultimately, notice those things in your life that you might be trying to force. For example, yesterday I was trying to force something to manifest a certain way, and I just was like, you know what, whatever, I'm gonna let it go. If it happens, cool, I know I'll align with it. If not, cool, I know then maybe it wasn't meant to be. But I kid you not, the next day, the very next day, the thing I was trying to manifest that I was trying to force literally happened. I was like, whoa, that was fast. It's probably been maybe 12 to 24 hours when I decided to surrender and let that go, and here it is instantly manifesting. What? So that's really cool. And I just want to put this in here in case any of you guys are going through this, but it can also be a really excellent time to reassess your relationships, whether that's your career, your family, your friends, your romantic partner, whatever that is. It's a good time to really reassess our motives for staying in those relationships. You know, sometimes you have that best friend you've been best friends with forever, and that's awesome, they're your best friend, but sometimes there might be somebody else, and maybe you're hanging out with them subconsciously for ulterior motives, and it doesn't really feel good. There's a lot of forceful energy because maybe you're not supposed to align with it. But trust that what is for you will always come for you when you allow yourself to relax and let go of that resistance, because when you're trying to force things, oh boy, other humans can feel it and it will feel uncomfortable to them. It might actually push them away. So really take this time to understand your relationships, and something I like to do is create a pie chart in my mind. You know, ask yourself if this is something your ego wants because it's been comfortable for you, because it's been serving you, because you're used to it, accustomed to it, or if it's something that really, really, really on a heart-centered level, you know, is actually in alignment for you. So what I used to do, I would see the good in people even if they were only good to me 10% of the time, and I would fixate on that. So what I like to do is kind of make a pie chart for myself and say, okay, the good times were maybe 20%, the bad times, well, maybe that was 80%. Because I've seen a lot of people messaging me things like, oh, well, I really love my boyfriend, but a lot of the time, actually a majority of the time, he treats me really bad. So I'm kind of like, and I know it's comfortable to stay in relationships, but really reassess those relationships, why you're in those relationships, if you have any motives that are coming from your ego, or if it really is centered and in alignment with you. So this is the one final tip I have for you today, and that is about fixating on things that is tied to the thing I was talking about before, where it's like surrender and then it will happen if it's meant to. So basically, one way to do that, a lot of people try to force letting go, which it sucks, it doesn't work, it doesn't feel good. So what I like to do instead is, if I'm fixating on something, whether that's a person, place, thing, whatever event that I want to happen, if I'm fixating on that and just agonizing over it and stressing over it, I realize, wait a second, the way I'm going to surrender and release this is by taking my attention off of that thing and putting the attention back on myself. So let's say you're trying to force something to happen, maybe you're trying to force a certain friendship to happen, but you realize you've been fixating on it and it's been doing nothing for you except stressing you out. I like to take that attention back to myself and say, you know what, if this is meant for me, it will line up. In the meantime, I'm gonna do things like nourish and nurture myself, take good care of myself, and focus on what I want to create for myself instead, because a lot of times by fixating on things, and you know, fixating has a negative connotation typically, it can really keep us distracted from seeing what actually is right in front of us and in alignment with us. So again, if you find yourself in that situation and you're struggling to let go, you're struggling to surrender, notice if you are giving your attention to that thing, and notice if you're giving your attention to it in a way that's only like, you know, stressing you out, not helping you out, you know, overthinking, that kind of stuff, and then just take the attention back to yourself. Say whatever you need to say to yourself to help you let go of that. Maybe something like, oh, I know that if it's right for me, it will happen. I know if I'm in alignment, it will happen. Because again, if we have that forceful energy, people can pick up on that and they might not reach out to us when we have that forceful energy. But when we are in true alignment with who we are, which is not spending time overthinking, when we're in our essence, that's when people see that and gravitate towards you. So at the end of the day, man, your thoughts are so powerful. You can create this reality for yourself, and you can choose what you would like to think about, and you can choose and notice if those thoughts are serving you or if they are distracting you, getting in the way, slowing you down, you know, negative self-talk, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, thanks for being here. Thanks for being you. I love you so much. I'm sending you so much love, so much support, so much encouragement right now. While these things might be coming up, I know it might be uncomfortable or it might suck. but just focus on the outcome you want. Focus on how good it's gonna feel to have finally finished processing and integrating whatever it is that's being brought to the surface right now. Sending you so much love along your journey. You've got this. I will be here on the sidelines cheering you on as always. Have a beautiful day, friends.